What is good, everybody, and welcome back to another video. You guys already know I got my son Jaden in the chair, and this boy is looking rough. His hair is looking crazy. He did his own hair this morning before school, and this is just what it looked like when I picked him up. He was all sweaty and whatnot, but yeah, man, we're gonna get right into this cut. Gonna give him a nice little mid-high skin fade. Gonna get him into a nice transformation, and let's get it right. Starting off with the Babyliss FX Pros, creating my first guideline all the way around his head. I started about the midway point on his temple area. Please ignore my son eating a booger or picking his nose, whatever he's doing. That boy was digging for gold, but yeah, creating this guideline. Gonna start balding it out all the way around the head. I'm not really focusing on perfection when I'm balding it out with these. I'm going to go over them with the Bronze Series 9, and those do a pretty good job at clipping any hair that I may leave behind, so I don't have to get it too perfect. Just got to make sure that I debulk is all. Now skinning it with the Bronze Series 9. Any hair that I feel is too long, it has like a little trimmer attachment on there, so I'll just like flick that out and clip any hair down. But all in all, you guys, this thing just trims down the hair really good. It gets it nice and skinned, very smooth, and I seriously think this is still one of the best trimmers in the game. I am creating that second guideline with the lever all the way closed. I know I'm gonna have to trim it down right now with the trimmer, so just closing it all the way closed will match up evenly with the skin. These are a pair of trimmers I got on Amazon a few years back, and they do a pretty good job at needing to bald this second guideline, but I would say they're more like a detailed trimmers for like your facial hair or something. I still needed to pull out the Andy Slimline Pros, and that did a perfect job while I stretched his skin out. It definitely helped to disappear the line. Next, with that number 1 guard, I'm going to do the same thing, close the lever all the way and begin that next guideline. But with this next guideline, it's going to be quite thick. I already know I want to go pretty short on the sides because his hair grows back quick, and this will just help keep his hair looking fresh for about a week. Next, with that half guard, I'm going to throw that lever down about 3/4 of the way and just begin blending in at this entire number 1 guard that I left. Once I realize that the half guard at the first level I set it at is no longer cutting, I'll go ahead and just do it until I have the lever fully closed. After that, I'll remove the half guard and begin fading into this line with the lever maybe like a notch or two closed. Remember, this guideline is pretty thick, so it's going to take a little bit of work to blend it out. I'm going to go ahead and just focus on the side right now, closing the lever all the way, and then just move over to the back part using, I believe it was the number 1 or the half guard, and now blending it out with no guard just to have it line up and currently even with the sides. There was still some hair that was pretty visible, so with the number 1 guard attached, I believe I had it like halfway closed. And I'm just blending into that guideline. You can see right there, it's very light, but definitely noticeable. Now for the darker portion of his hair, I'm going to go ahead with no guard on and the lever all the way open and just begin to do some clipper over comb action. Now I'm just going to debulk these sides. It was very bulky and thick. The hair was very dark, and I just want to lighten it up a little bit and get it blended down as much as I can with this technique first. Whatever I didn't cut with the clipper over comb technique, I attached the 1.5 guard and just began to blend into that rest of the guideline. From the 1.5, I drop down now to the 1 guard, and I'm blending right into that. And after that, we'll use the half guard and just down fade a little bit from there, just until we notice that the line is disappeared as much as we can get it. Moving on to the next side, creating that second guideline, while finishing creating the second guideline onto this portion of his head. And then I'll close the lever all the way and clean everything else up with the trimmer. Just like the opposite side with the number 1 guard and the lever all the way closed, I'm creating that next guideline. This portion of his head won't be as thick towards the front like the opposite end was, because all the hair that folds over when I brush it to the side, I'll just do a little bit of clipper over comb action to clean that up. Now with no guard on, I'm just knocking out that half guard line we just previously did, and it's very easy to blend out the guideline on the sides with his hair. With the lever all the way closed, you can see the line has disappeared quite a bit, and it's mainly just like the back portion and the side back portion that takes a little bit more detail to kind of blend down. Just detailing a little bit of extra hair with the half guard, closing the lever a little bit at a time, and right after that I'm going to attach the number 1 guard and begin some clipper over comb action while throwing the lever about halfway closed. With this clipper over comb technique, I do want to go kind of short, or as short as I can, just using this technique alone. So I'll throw that lever into the fully closed position, or until I just feel comfortable with how it's looking. But it wasn't too hard to blend this down. His hair did have gel in it. I didn't wash it out like I should have, but I was mainly just focusing on the bottom portion of the hair that gets combed over. Using the 1.5 guard with the lever closed about halfway, I'm going to debulk a lot of this darker hair sitting up towards the crown area. That's what I love about this step-by-step type of haircut that I do, is that the line just blends out very quick, but it's because we're keeping that lever pretty much halfway closed or fully closed through every step that we do. This is the half guard now, and I'm going to use this to blend out the anything that was left from the number 1 guideline. So I'm going to take that half guard right off, put the lever all the way open, and then start flicking at that line that I was just flicking at right above the half guard. There's just a guideline still that you could see around his head, but I'm going to turn him around and see what needs to be done on the other side as well. I did see a little guideline there still, so just going to do a little bit of touch-up work before I line him up next. Using the Bronze Series 9, I'm going to use that just to clean up any lines that are remaining around the head. I'm going to use a flicking out motion so I don't create another line in the process, but I'm going to do that all the way around his head. You guys can kind of see the line, so I was hoping that this would definitely help a lot just to make the haircut look a lot cleaner. And anything I couldn't get with that trimmer, I just went ahead and used the next steps you see here. Now it's time for that lineup, so I wet his hair and now I'm just brushing it to the side. Probably using the wrong brush, but I just grabbed what was nearby me, and his lineup wasn't too bad. You could just see that hair that sticks out pretty far on the bottom. That's honestly how his hair grows, so I'm just gonna have to cut that off a little bit and just clean up the lineup itself a little. Not gonna push him back, just gonna keep that natural shape, and right after that we'll go ahead and get that part line done as well. Doing a little bit of more lineup work, just wanted to make sure that he was nice and crispy. I kept brushing the hair down in the front and just cleaning up anything that was left over, any of those baby hairs. And with the Andy Slimline Pros, the blade is small enough that I can go ahead and just touch up the sides on him on both ends. With the 1.5 guard, I'm just doing a little bit of clipper over comb and touch-up work right here on the side. There was still quite a bit of a thick line back there, but this definitely helped to bring it down and even it out quite well. For his part line, I did re-wet his hair again. That way it would make it easier for me to separate his hair and part it out. Next, I'll be using my Babyliss FX trimmers, flipping them upside down because I feel like I get a better detail with them, and just outlining that natural part line. After I was done detailing them with the trimmers, I grabbed the scissors and began cutting any baby hairs that were sitting in the front lineup area and just tracing the little part guideline with the scissors. Using that Tomb 45 shave gel, I'm going to apply a little bit on each corner of his lineup area and pretty much his entire forehead. Just a little bit, you guys, not going to apply too much, and I'm going to rub that in with my fingers just to make sure it's spread evenly across his skin. I'm using a clean and brand new straight razor. These are disposable, so they're just a one-time use. Applying little to no pressure while I'm using this because they're very sharp, and just gently pulling the skin down and going across it with the razor does a very good job at detailing. Applying some shave gel to his part line area, I'm going to do the same thing with the straight razor and do an outline of it. I'm not pushing down too far on it. I'm barely detailing this part because I don't want to make the line too thick. This is the end of the video, you guys. I applied some powder to my duster brush and just dusting all the hair off him. This just makes sure that none of the hair sticks to him or irritates his skin. I think the haircut came out so good, you guys. It's just a nice, clean, basic mid-high skin fade with the part line. I just think it came out really good, you guys. This was such a vibe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Dab on them, Jaden. Peace.